woke up really sore this morning after doing the beams yesterday, and not really sure why. I wasn't really lifting as much. I think it was really just climbing up and down the ladders. But oh well, more to do today. So start doing the fun parts. We're doing the beams. I'm sorry, the joist for the roof, for the flat roof. So I'm gonna start following the plans here, laying them out, just marking them so that I start carrying up these 2x8s or 2x10s. I think they're 2x10s. Anyways, I gotta pull them all up here, lay them across the span here. So I mark them off. So I'm gonna mark them off both sides. So I line them up. So let's see. You can see I'm gonna be here. The plans I'm following. So there's starting at. So here's the. It's hard to see, but here's the storage area, and then here's the open area with the beams. So I'm starting off 28 inches off and doing double beam, single, double, kind of that they're all on center. So I got to start marking off here. 28 inches, start with double, 44, just following along each one of these. Try to work my way over to the storage area. There's a couple, and then end up should be 28 inches off. I marked over there and actually came out right, so I'm very thankful. All right, so they made a single marking there, double joist there. I think I showed this before, but here's the final sloped header here. See, I had to kind of, this got so thin, I mean like 1/16 of an inch here. I just nailed it off with some of the spiral nails, the 2-inch nails. Same thing on the other side. You see the slope header that matches that. The slope of the roof, and this is actually they beveled this off, so it's 1.5 inches on this side, and I think it's 3/8 or so. It's just enough where it's just a 2.5 inch slope. So I got all the joists marked off. Here's the pile of the wood, which is slowly dwindling down, which feels good. These are all the joists. I'm gonna carry all these over, and then here's the hung and groove 5/8 inch sheathing. It's gonna be the roof. Just the rest of scraps, and then this is, oh, it's gonna be fun too. This is all the wall, or the ceiling, these lookouts that come. You'll see once it's up there, or start working, and then there's lots and lots of blocking. Line up on my marks there, starting off the first one. That one needs to be, or it's pretty close. So I think actually with these doubles, I don't put the doubles in first because I mentioned it was lookouts. They actually come out this way because they overhang 2 feet. You'll see there's a 2-foot overhang on each side here. And then when you get out here, there's overhangs. So you have to look here. So I have to measure the overhang, here. So it's the same on each side, and also what's nice is they marked here where they've cut the bevel. You can see with the square here how it's not. You can see how it's angled, and they did that because the roof is pitched, and so if they didn't bevel it, then they would have it. Then it would be sticking out, and then the sides would be crooked. And then here's what the final roof will look like with the layout. You can see this joy with all these lookouts, doubles here. These are all going to be joist hangers, but that's to be dealt with later. So here is the beam outline. So the edge of the beam is going to have a 22.5 inch overhang. On each side, I have to look for a 22.5 inch overhang. And once I get that, I'm just going to do a single screw, I think, on either side. You have to do 3, so 2 on one side, 1 on the other. I'll probably use nails, but just to kind of lay them out, make sure I got it first before I start permanently putting it in. joists. I got all the single beams up so far. I haven't doubled them up yet, just because I want to make sure everything's correct. And then there's a couple like these outside ones that's going to require double beam, but you leave it off because, as I mentioned, there's just lookouts that come this way. You want to be able to end nail them. I'll see weight on that one. One thing I noticed is it all measured correctly. When I held at my 6 foot level, when I put it across, there was on the other side, there's one that was sticking out a little bit, and then the same on this side, it was in a little bit. So I'm just going to adjust it because it was off by about 1/4 inch. So I guess I think that was helpful nailing, screwing, and so I just put one screw on each side as I placed them. It was enough just to hold them in place and keep them from moving, but it was good to then, like I mentioned, be able to make sure it's flush on the outside, because anytime you mess that up, then you got the end joist on there. If it's kind of wavy, and then when you put the plywood, you have to cut it, and it just throws it all off. So got it all lined up. 3 nails, or 3. So I got a screw in there, and I'll put 2 nails in each one of these, and that'll be the 3, and then I can go finish up the doubles. Switching back to the 16 penny nails here. The next thing I did, it was a little hard to see it trying to record it, but so this is the layout here. Here's the enclosed area, there's the open area with the beams, here's the double, and there's front and back plate, and since it's so long, it's broken up into 2 boards. One's 87.5, and the other was 130.5, something like that. Anyways, I found the point where they meet right here is this double joist raft, or whatever you want to call it, going across. So he screwed in some temporary supports here, and one on the other end, and then one here, so that they could lay it up there on the edge, or get it, close enough, and then work, and then lay this one up. Yeah, I got them all. The edge joist here, got it on set up correctly. It's all lined up. I got all the other joist, the rafters fixed. Just to line them up. So now I'm just going to go in and nail them off. So the other side is all nailed off. So now I gotta put the end pieces on this side. On the other side, first double joint up there, so double joist. Is the one where I put the joint between the longer pieces on this side and the short on this side. I'm just gonna alternate it, so it's this joint right here is gonna be the joint. This double joist right here. It probably doesn't matter, but just so they're alternating, so it's not both on the same side. This is getting too hot because my phone keeps shutting off. Anyways, I was able to get the blocks in there. One here, one where the joint's going to be, and then this other one right here on the end. So the shorter piece, is going to be here, and then the longer piece is going to go from there to there. So you can see right now there's the small one right here is the 87 inch or something like that, and the other one's 130 inches. One thing to be noticed of is it's very slight, so you can't tell, but the edge is actually beveled, and they put a nice exaggeration here of a pencil. That's not the slope; it's only 2.5, but just so you can look at it quickly and see what's the edge. So. putting on the side rafters now. See what it looks like. It's kind of hanging out there. I'll show you the other one I'm just working on. I noticed it was, cause there's so much, I mean, there's almost 3 feet of play there, that it was actually bent. So I just temporarily put a block in there, kind of hold it square, so that I'm putting these lookouts and everything over here. They're squared. So what I did was kind of the same way that we set up these front and back blocker pieces, is to put a block. So you can see better. So you put a block there, and then just set it on there. Number 2 is to put in the side rafters, so they go inside of the front and back. Give you examples. So here's the side being the rafter that I'm getting ready to nail in. Just showing you why I keep explaining about the bevel. So here is the support on the side here. So see, this is not beveled. At least this top isn't sticking out. So if you see, it's going to go straight across. You should be able to see just a little bit of gap right there. And if you notice, see how this is kicked up, because that is not beveled down there. So this is why it needs to be beveled here and on the top, because otherwise you would have all this would be incorrectly lined up. So like I said, I've screwed that other end, so it's holding just enough in place. I'm going to loosen this just enough where I can drop it down a little bit, so that I can manually go and get this level. Twisted. It's hard to see, but if you can see down, you can see it's actually twisted that way, and it's not, since these are already pre-beveled, you can't, they only come in one direction. So what I think I'm going to try is to get clamp in here. Let's see if I can get it at an angle like this. And just pull it square. See it. That actually seemed to work. Yep, so that worked. Yeah, let's see that it's down there square now. So it still might be twisted a little bit down there, further along the length, but that'll get fixed as those things go in there. This is actually flush at the top. So I could just nail it, or I could just finish nailing this in here that I already started. So you can see most of the pattern's done. No, I shouldn't say most of the pattern. I got all the joists up here, the main joist, side joists. I haven't done any of the, still need to work on the lookouts here. The one thing I hadn't done yet that I should have done is the blocking. It's going to go in between each one of the joists. See, the blocking doesn't have to be perfect. It's really just to hold things square, so that when it's not really used anything from nailing onto the other side. Just to keep them as square as possible, so that when you are nailing from the other side, you can get the joists. So here's all the blocking done for the portion that you can do so far. Again, there's going to be double joist that goes there, but I didn't want to do it till mark everything else out. So yeah, so that was not too bad so far. Actually, I see I made a mistake here. It's supposed to be a double joist right there, so I'll be taking that one out. That's all right. I'll just use the oscillating tool and cut the nails. As I mentioned, I made a mistake. This should actually be a double joist here, but it's left off so I could nail the lookout with a side joist. But I accidentally put blocking in there, so oscillating tool with the metal carbide bit to go through the drills, or saw blade. Got that from this side, and then just able to bend this enough so I'll knock this off and just be able to reuse this. I'm not going to cut this side, just so I'll just get this wood off and then just pop the nails out.